Hi, my name is Sardonic Poet, and I'm a failed artist. And what do failed artists do eventually? They become critics. We criticize people that find success in the world, and we latch onto that success to try and tear down something out of jealousy, out of necessity to eat, out of necessity to entertain, necessity to pay the bills, whatever you want to call it, okay? Today's episode is brought to you by Formula One. So I'm going to explain to you why fans have ruined Formula One. I started watching Formula One back in 1997, the tail end of 1997. And being something new for me, being a car guy, it was intriguing and novel and innovative for its time. And why do I look back fondly on it? Nostalgia. Okay, now Formula One, if you don't know, Formula One is supposed to be the pinnacle of motorsport. Okay, it's largely driven by how to interpret the regulations. The regulations, there's a huge manual full of regulations where the teams have to interpret the rules to design the fastest car they can. And how that gets implemented could be in or outside of the rules or a gray area, and people and other teams can copy or challenge or improve upon. So it's a constant game. It's warfare. It's vehicular warfare. And you have personalities in the drivers, you have personality in the teams, you have history, you have the evocative sounds and smells, races all around the world that represents countries, drivers, manufacturers. There's tons of drama. Politics. If you want, there's a little bit of everything for people who want to take an interest in motorsport, especially Formula One. How did the fans ruin Formula One? Well, nostalgia. It kills innovation. Nostalgia kills innovation. So I grew up in an age where they had V10s, 10-cylinder engines. Best sounding engines by far. Better than V12s, better than V8s, better than turbocharged, better than ICE engines. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it doesn't matter. The point is that the pinnacle of something is driven by the times. And the times are driven by policy, by car company manufacturers, teams and car company manufacturers. They got to make money, right? So they got to tie in the sport into what they sell. But if the government makes law that affects the products, the company's products, well, then the motor store as a consequence has to follow suit in order for the marketing to work. Otherwise, because they're not in it for the spirit of motorsport. Okay, it's about money. It's about a brand, building a brand within a worldwide populace that are fanatic. You want to build fanatics, okay? But again, fanatics, you could do two things. You could win, or you can evocate nostalgia, if that's a word. Be evocative, evoke the past, evoke the good times in the present. Okay, if you can't win, you gotta rest on nostalgia. And the problem is you can't do that with the pinnacle. A pinnacle of technology and the pinnacle of entertainment are two different things. Okay? And what entertains is either nostalgia or winning. Guess what? There's only one winner. Only one person can win the race. There's only one person that can win the championship. Okay? So everyone else is either going to get on the winning bandwagon or harken back to a nostalgic time. And how do you do that? It's like, well, the longtime fans, they bring other people into the sport, they bring their kids into the sport. So then the fans are trying to relive the past through the present, right? The good times, right? The good and the bad and everything in between. It's harkening back to when you had optimism in the world, right? You had optimism, there was opportunity for you, you had health, you had youth. That was on your side, and that was shaping the world. That was the world for you. But the reality of the world is that without independent of your fun, independent of your youth, independent of your enthusiasm, your opportunity, your optimism, exists a world that is seedy and ruthless, that has no interest in you outside of the numbers, what makes sense for profit. Okay? Every industry that I criticize, it always comes down to the fans. The fans want to relive the good times. The fans, there's something specific. Could be the engine noise. It could be a team that won. It could be a popular driver that's past his prime, but you like him. You like him still. It could be anything, right? So it's like you got this tribalism, these factions, these fandoms, these fanatics that link, that overlap, that divide, that conquer. And that makes up the audience. That makes up the audience, right? So it's this political dance. This political dance of people that vote with the dollar, that vote with their eyes, that vote with their ears, that vote with their wallet. Right? And by voting with your wallet, with your eyes, with your ears, you are supporting the losers. You support the losers in that form because there's only one winner. The rest of them are losers. That's how competitive it is. No one gives a shit about second. No one gives a shit about third. It's only one. So if you're the chances are good. If you don't support the dominant team, you're supporting the losers. Okay? You're supporting the losers. And that's your fan base. And that can be said about any sport. But everyone gets something different, right? Like I said, if you're not winning, there has to be something about the sport you like. But if the pinnacle is massaged by government policy, okay, by fanaticism elsewhere, climate-based fanaticism, let's say. And it's like the manufacturer's got to remain relevant for the marketing to make sense, right? Because the people that want to get into the sport that work for these manufacturers are advocates for the sport. They're not necessarily advocates for the bottom line, right? They have to convince the people that the accountants to invest, that's worthwhile, it's going to drive sales, right? So you're cheering for the accountants. That's what fans do. They cheer for the accountants. Yay, accountants! Yay! That's what you're doing with your eyes and ears and wallets. Okay? So you're cheering for the accountants. If fans don't like something, they should just fuck off. Okay? But they won't. They won't. Because it's about losers. Okay? The fans lose all the time. Fans lose all the time. But they hold on to that nostalgia. They hold on to the hope. The nostalgia will make up for the lack of winning. It's down to the fans. The fans ruin everything. And as a failed artist, okay, I have no fans. I don't. So my art falls on its face. I only have myself to blame. I can't blame the fans. I don't have any. Okay? But in terms of Formula One, how Formula One is steered, fans cheer for accountants. Fans cheer for accountants. Do accountants give a shit about your nostalgia? No. They only care about the bottom line. The bottom line is to win or make money, lose, make money, as long as you make money, right? And then what kind of sport is that? What kind of spectacle is that when you boil it down to it? The fans, if the sport cannot survive, why do the fans insist? Nostalgia, okay? It's like a snake that swallows itself. You have the mouth that is the fan, and you have the snake swallowing its own tongue. That's the nostalgia. Okay? I'm a critic. I'm a critic. I criticize. Okay? I do this not to be mean. I do this to shed light on things that I feel deserve your attention. Okay? Fans ruined Formula One. Fans ruined Formula One because they support its bullshit. The day that Formula One got rid of the V10 is the day it should have died. Okay? And I'm sure the people during the V12 era says the day they got rid of the V12, the sport died. And guess what? They fucked off. Those are the true fans. Those are fans. Those are the right type of fans. They say, fuck the accountants. Fuck the accountants. Okay? My eyeballs and ears and wallet, okay? They pay for the accountant's salary. It's about the accountants. It's about the accountants, man. What about the accountants? This Formula One's about the accountants. Hope you get my point.